My name is Bolaji. You are welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we'll be designing a product card, a Nike product card to show you Nike products using the HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So right before us here is the product card we'll be designing, and we have all this there. We can see there's a place where we can select color, and once we change the color of the product is going to change, and the background color of the add to cart button, the size button and the new button here. So we can see, can also change the size. Once you go to green, you can see this and this. So we'll be starting now as we move straight into our VS Code. So now we are in our VS Code. We have created a folder titled the product card, and inside we created 3 other folders: the CSS, the images, the JavaScript, where the CSS is where the CSS files are kept, images where the images files are kept, the JS folder is where the JavaScript files are kept, and we have the index.html as a root file in the project folder. So we start from here by first of all getting the broiler template of the HTML by typing HTML5. You have select this 5, then we have this. So the first thing we are going to be doing is that we are going to be linking our CSS file to this index.html file. So we do that by enter. Above the title we type link and CSS, then we have this. So we are going to be changing this href attribute here. Then we'll be having dot css/styles.css. so that's that. We've successfully linked our CSS file to the index.html. So the next thing we'll be doing is I'll be changing this document to product card. So yeah, after that is done, we'll continue by going, before we go into the body, let's first of all open our index.html in the browser using the live server. So open with live server. Let's give it a moment as it loads. Yeah, we can see it that it has loaded already, and we have the title that we gave it, the product card here, but it is blank because we've not inputted anything in the body of the HTML file. So we go back straight into our VS Code as we continue. So right now we'll be creating a div, and we're giving it a class of container. So you can use this method to create this div by typing a period container, then enter. So a class container has been created. Then also looking at our design, there are so many things that we are going to be doing. We are going to be creating a container for this first that will house everything. Then we come to the card where the shoe will be. We'll create another container inside that class container, and we'll be giving it card. Then we also have another container inside. Let me go straight. Let me quit talking and go straight into. So now, yeah, since we've created a container here, let's continue by creating another container, another div container with a class of card. So inside that also, for the shoe background, the shoe is on the background, we'll be creating another container for that, which we'll be having a class of shoe background. So that is that. Then due to the gradients we'll be having, going back to our template that we are following, we can see here, once we change the color, there is a background that goes on it, another background, another background, another background. So there is a color responsible for it. So we'll be creating a div tag that will be having a class of gradients, and inside that gradients we'll be creating 5 other div tags that will be having a class of gradients that will represent each color that is being passed over. So now let's create that of gradients. Okay, then inside this gradient we'll be having 5 gradients times 5. So we can use this shortcut to create the 5 at once. So after that, this is done, then we can add our class to each of them. Let me use another method to do that. Then we type a space class. So the next thing is we give each class the name in which they'll be carrying. Blue. The next one is red. I guess so. The next one is green. Next one is orange. The next is black. So after that is done, we go outside of the gradients, then we create an h1 tag, that will be carrying the Nike on the background. Let me show you. So we can see that on the background here, we have a transparent Nike that is written there. So we'll be creating an h1 element for that, and also be creating an img tag for this Nike logo. Then after that, we'll be having the images. We're having this image, and we are going to be adding the 5 colors all at once. Then we will use our JavaScript to switch over from one to the other. So let's go into our VS Code as we work on that. So the next thing I said we're going to be creating here is an h1, which will be having Nike. Then it will be having a class of Nike also, class Nike. Then after that we'll be having the image tag for the logo. Sources images /logo. Then the alt also will be logo. Then outside the alt will be having a class of logo. Then we go to the next thing to be done, and the next thing to be done is I forgot to say this. There is an icon here. A share icon, which we are going to be adding to ours also. So let's get the CDN for font awesome. That's what we are going to be using to add the icon. Let's get the CDN for font awesome. So let's just type font awesome CDN. Then we should have this. Then let's just pick it from here without wasting much of our time. So copy. So after copying, we go straight to our VS Code. So this icon is going to be in a tag, in an anchor tag. So put a, okay, in an anchor tag a, then we have the href, then we have, oh sorry, equals to this, we have the hashtag, then we continue, we have a class of share, then also we close it. Yeah, so but before we put the icon, we will first of all paste the CDN link, we copy it above the title, so Ctrl V. So after doing this, now we can now go and get the icon from font also. Okay, so after searching for share on fontalso.com, so we have this set of icon. Let's pick the one similar to the one there, which is share notes. Yeah, so once we click on it, we have this, then we can just click on this code to copy it, then we'll move straight to our VS Code and paste it there. So we paste it in this link tag here between the opening tag and the closing tag for the anchor tag, sorry, Ctrl V. So that is that the icon has already been added. So before we go into our CSS file to do any further thing, to give it some nice designs, let's add the images. Yeah, let's add the images. So we have the img times, we have 5 of it, so it just creates the 5. Oh, I don't want them to be on the same line. Let me just separate them. Yeah, we have this already. So we are going to be adding the source, which is the actual images. Then we have blue first, then the class should be shoe. Yeah, let's give it a class of shoe. They're all going to have the same class, so as to be able to select them and display one at a time from JavaScript. Then let us give it a color of red, of blue, sorry. So as we are giving them, as we are imputing each image, we'll be giving it a class of shoe, sorry, a class of shoe and a color of blue, not class of shoe. So, and the color of that specific shoe we are importing images. Then the next one is the red. Where is red? Then we have a class of red, and so that we have color, which is color which is red. Then we have the next one, which is green. Then we have a class of shoe. Oh, sorry, this should be shoe also, not red. We have to give each of them the same class name, so as to be able to select them all at once in the JavaScript and switch between them. Color is green. Then we have second to the last images. We have orange, a class of shoe. then a color. The color is orange. Then lastly we have black. We have images. Where's black? A class of shoe, and also color will be black. So now we have added all the images. So I want us to add a special class to this first one, because when we start working with the JavaScript, we have to give one of them a special class name for it to display at first before it can be able to switch to others. So we give this one show. Yeah, we give it show, and same thing as for the gradients. Also, we give this first one an extra class of second. Yeah, we do that. So that is that. Let's try to even view what we have been doing since morning. Yeah, so this is our index. This is what we have been doing since morning. We have the Nike that is there already. Let's scroll down. Oh, we have the share icon. You can see it's a clickable icon there. We have the shoe. This is the blue, this is the red, this is the green, this is the orange, and this is the black. So we are moving on to the next thing. Yeah, I guess before I work on the CSS, yes, let me complete the other parts of this. We have the parts where the image display, and we have the parts where we have the info. So let me just quickly create the info section before we start any styling, so as for it to be easier and faster for us. So let me continue with the info. So down below, outside the div, which has the class of shoe background, which is the one at one side where the shoe is displayed, outside that class we are going to be creating another div that will be having a class of info, which will carry the information about the shoe. So in that, first of all, we'll be having the class of shoe name. Dot shoe name. Let me use camel casing. Shoe name. Then we have this. So in this also we'll be having an extra div, and also inside this extra div we'll be having our h1, which will be having the title of, or the name of that shoe. And what is the name? Let's check out the name. So the name of the shoe is the Nike Zoom KD12. Let me just copy it and paste it there. So let me paste it here, Ctrl V. So voila, we have that. And also beside the name there is a tag there, or there is a I've forgotten the name, where we have the new. There is a badge there where we have the new, to show that it is a new item in market. So let's just create a span to do that. Under the h1 we create a span. A span is an inline element, a span, and we have new. And this h1, let's give it a class of big. And yeah, this span, let us give it a class of new also. Yeah, so we're able to give it a nice styling from the CSS. So let's check out our page to know what next to do. Okay, so the next thing for us to do is we are going to be adding this. Yeah, this will be the next thing, the men's running shoe. The men's running shoe, that's what we are going to be adding now. Yeah, we are adding maybe an h3 tag to carry this, and then we'll create a div for this product information in product info. Then after that, we'll create another div to carry this color. Then we'll create another div for size, then another div for the add to cart and the amount. So let's go straight back into our VS Code. Yeah, so let's add the h3. It will be outside of this. So we have the h3, and the h3 will be h3, and we said men's running shoes. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, men running shoes. So that's about the first section there. So I said we'll be creating another div which will be outside this shoe name. We'll be creating another div that will carry the actual description. So we'll be creating the div and we'll give it a class name of description. Give it a class name of description, and inside that we'll be having an h3. But let me give this h3 here also, the one above here, a class of small. Yeah, and let me give this new h3 I just created a class of title. Then you should have the products, class of title. Then you should have the products info, product information. Then under that you should have a p tag, which should be having a class of text, and it will be carrying the information about the product. So let me just copy from the main one we have there. So let me copy this, copy. So back here, let me paste. So that's that. We go to the next thing, which is we create another div that will carry the color. So we create a div and we give it a class of color container, container. Then we click the enter. So for this color container, you'll be creating spans. Yes, span, where we'll be giving them primary colors, and also we'll be giving them a class of color. Yeah, that's the major thing. They all have to have the same class so as to be able to select them when we start using our JavaScript. So let's first of all create an h3 also with a class of title, just like the previous one. So we are going to be using that class of title, or reusing it also in this color container title. Okay, so h3, then we have the color. Then outside that we have another div that will be carrying the class of colors. So this is the class that will now be carrying each color. Yes, and that this will be a span, because span is an inline element. It won't form, it will, the 5 will have to be on the same line. So that is why we are using span, so that they will all align on the same line, so it won't be forming just like the div. The div is a block element, so by the time you create, if you use the div, instead of them being on the same line, they are going to be on separate line. So that is why we are using the span. Let me do this, a shortcut, span with a class of color multiply by 5. So this is a VS Code shortcut. You can see they're all on the same line. Let me just press enter to bring each of them down. Enter, start the closing tag, enter, start this closing tag. Voila. So we have this. So now the only thing that we'll be adding to this is that we'll be adding an extra class to the first one, which will be having active, and also we'll be adding an attribute called the primary, which will be equals to the primary will be, it will be a color. It will be a color. I have the color here with me, and to be having the X code of #217 5F5. So that will be the X code, and to also be having another attribute of color, which should be blue. Then same for all. Let me just say primary. Okay, let me stress myself. Let me just copy this and edit for each of them. Ctrl C, Ctrl V. So let me copy, edit this primary. We have F84848, F84848. Then we have red. Okay, the next one we have 29B864. Then we have green, if I'm not mistaken. Then the next one will be that for orange. Ctrl V. The primary color should be orange. We have FF5521. Then we have orange. Then we have the last one. Most of all these attributes are what we are going to be using in the JavaScript. Most of the attributes we are going to be using in the JavaScript. So the black has #444. Then this one becomes BLACK, black. So that is that. We move to the last container. Is that the last? Oh, not the last. The container that is going to be showing or be carrying the sizes. So we create another container called the size container dot size hyphen container. So press enter. Then inside the size container, we'll also be having the same title here that will be carrying the size. Let me just say V, then change this to size. Then we have the next one. We'll be creating a div called the sizes dot sizes to accommodate each size. Then also we'll be creating a span for all of them, and this span, they will all be having the same class of size. So we have span dot size, then enter. I was meant to do ×5, but no worries. Let me just put the first one 1 2 3 4 5. So the first one will be having 7, the second one will be having 8, the third one will be having we're having 9, we're having 10, we're having 11. So just like we have been putting, we used active here to select the active one. we use show to select the active one. So we're doing the same thing, but let's just give any of them the extra class of active, so as it should be able to select one once the page loads. So we just select 8 for that, then we continue. So the next div we'll be creating will be outside here. After the whole size container, we'll now be creating the last one, the last container, which will be carrying the prices. It will be carrying the prices. So outside that, we'll be having dot buy hyphen price, a div of buy price. So that's that. So first of all, we create a link for the add to cart, or add to cart. Then also we'll be creating where we'll be having our price. We'll be creating the price also. So the first thing is the link so inside that we'll be having a class of buy BUI. We'll be having a class of buy. Then we'll be needing an icon too. We'll be needing an icon which will be the shopping cart. We need an icon which will be the shopping cart. Then after that we'll add our add to cart. Let me use cart. So now let me get the icon from font awesome. So we are in font awesome already, and we have a shopping cart here. So let's just click on it, then we grab the code copied. We grab the code and we go paste it in our VS Code. So we paste it before, want it to be before the add to cart, Control V. So that is that about that. Then the next thing is outside that link below, we create another div that will be carrying the price. So let's just create a div that will be having a class of price dot price. Then inside that we'll be having the price and the $sign. So for us to get that $sign, we can also get it from font awesome. So we'll be getting the $sign from font awesome. Well, let me add the H1 first, which is the price, which is 189.99. So now I'm going to font awesome to get the $sign. So here I am. This is the $sign here. Let's use the first one. Let's select that. Then we click on the link to copy it. So once the link is copied, we go to our VS Code to paste the link. So we'll be pasting it above the price because we want it to actually occur, to show before the price. So let's paste it above the price. So voila. So this is it, and I guess this is all we need to do for the HTML. But before we go, let me add the script, the JavaScript to it. So when we start working on the JavaScript, it will be able to reflect on the page. So to add the JavaScript file to this HTML, we most times add JavaScript file below. We add it below the body. Below the body. So we have the script source, the source, then we have .java.js, then app.js. So we've linked it, and I guess this is all we need to do for the HTML. So we'll be going into the CSS to style it one after the other. But before we do that, let's just have a view of our page before we start styling it. So we are at the page now. So this is all we have been inputting since morning. We are going to work on everything to give it the desired look we want. So this is our desired look here, where we have this. We have our share, we have the prices, we have the color, and it can change from one to another. So now let's start with our CSS. Let's begin to style the page. So let's open our CSS now. This is CSS file. Let's drag and place it here. So first of all, what I want to do is we are going to be using a specific font. Yes, I want us to use a specific font family, and we are going to import the font from Google Font. So let's do that. So we go to fonts.google.com, fonts.google, it should be fonts.google.com. Yeah, so the one we want to use is Poppins. I like using some set of fonts already. So let me just check. I have some that has been selected already. So like I said, Poppins. But before we do that, so let's just search for Poppins. Yeah, sees it here. Once you click on it, I think I've added it to my selection already. I'm coming. So yeah, so this is my selected families. I've added it to it. I have Poppins, I have Lobster, I have Roboto. Let me just copy all. So I'm going to copy the imports. I want to import it from our CSS. Copy, then I go back to our VS Code, and so in the CSS above all, I paste it there. On top I paste it there. Then I remove this style. Then I take it up. So at import that. So anytime I use Poppins, it automatically would go and select the font for me from Google Fonts, and it will appear in my project. So I guess that's that. So the next thing I want to do is I want to have a primary color, a root color, yes, a root, and to be on primary, where I will set a primary color. So it's most times we call them variables. I want to create a variable called primary in my CSS. So the way we do it is we have the roots, then we have primary, we put hyphen primary, then we have an X code of 21755F5. This should be blue. So yeah, it's blue. So we have that S code as our variable for primary. So now the next thing we're going to do is what we call the CSS. We call it majorly CSS reset, where we set everything. We set our padding and our margin back to 0. Then we have padding. This is called the CSS reset, and also we have the box sizing. We give it a border box. And once to select the font family so that it will affect everything. This aesthetic means you are selecting all the elements. So these features, or these properties that we are placing inside this asterisk will affect all the elements there. So let's give it a font family of Poppins, or right, better still, I was meant to do something the other time. Let me go back to the Google font and copy the titles there. So from here, if we should still, okay, this is the link that and the imports that we copied. If we should go down, we can see CSS rule to specific family. So this is how you are going to be using them. So let me just copy this, then take it to my VS Code. So in the VS Code there, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be adding it on top also, but I'm going to comment it. So anytime I want to use any of them, I will just come and copy it. So let me delete this and let me just copy the whole of Poppins here. Control C. So the font family Poppins sans serif. So anytime there is no network or there is no internet for it to locate this Poppins, because Poppins is going to get Poppins from the Google font online. So if there is no internet to load this, it would end up using this sans serif, which is already an inbuilt font in the browser. So that is that. We go to the next thing, which is the body. We are going to be giving, we want our background, the body and the background color of the body to be white. So let's set that also. Background color, let's just give it white. Let me just give it EF, yeah, close to white, not pure white. Then we have the next thing. After that, let me go to our, come back here. So we have a container that houses both the image, and the information. So we are going to be styling our container now, which will be a class dot container, and for this we'll be giving it a minimum height, Control C, minimum height of 100 VH, and we'll give it a display flex. Let me see. Okay, yeah, we're going to give it a display flex so that it will be able to, does it really mean for this container to give it a display flex? But let's just leave it like that. Yeah, let's give it a display flex, so it will always position the card at the middle of the page. That's the essence of the display flex. Yeah, so that's that. Then the next thing is the justify content. So as to place it in the middle, we use justify content center, and we use align items center, and also we use padding of 40 pixel, that is 40 on the top and bottom, 40 right and left. So the next thing is we'll be hiding the overflow should be hidden. So anything that is bigger than this container, will be hidden inside, instead of it to be showing. So everything that is bigger than this container will be hidden, instead of it overlapping outside the container. So that's that. We go to the next part, which will be styling, which will be the card. Yeah, that will be the card. But this card also will be giving it, we should be giving card a display of flex, so as to put this shoe background and this info side by side. So let me start styling the card. Card, then we give it a display a display of flex, and also we justify content center, we align items center, then also we now give it a width of 860 pixel. Give it a width of 860 pixel. So let's see. Yeah, so this is what we are having now. Wow, the images are still very big. They are still very big. We can see, we can't scroll to the right or the left, because remember, we already told the container to hide anything that is outside it. So we do not give it a maximum height, we only give it a minimum height. So it can be as tall as it can be, the height can go as far as possible, but the width will remain at 100% of the screen. That is why we can't scroll to the left nor to the right. So let's go back to our VS Code and continue our work. Yeah, so to the HTML, the next thing we like to style here, okay, we've done this, is the shoe background. Let me copy the shoe background dot control paste shoe background. Then let's give it a position of relative. Let's give it a width. Sorry, let's give it a width of 50%. That will be the 50% of the screen size. We give it an height of, so we are dealing with the part that carries the image, that carries the shoe. So the height, let's give it 475 pixel. Let's pixel. Yeah, 475 pixel. Then we'll be giving it a box shadow. It has a box shadow around it. So we'll be giving the up, the down, and the left. Yeah, I guess my left, the up and the down. So the way we're doing that is will be box shadow. So we're having minus 15 pixel. We're having 0. We're having 35 pixel. Then we'll be having RGBA. We're having 0, 0, 0, 0.1. Yeah, so instead of, before this semicolon, we'll put a comma to put for the other side. You know, I said we're having for up and bottom, then the left. So we put the next one, which is 0 minus 15 pixel. Sorry, where is my cursor? 0 minus 15 pixel space 35 pixel space RGBA. We open bracket and we input the same 0.1. Then outside the bracket again we put a comma. Then we put for the last one 15 pixel, then 35 pixel, then also space RGBA 0.1. So we have that. Then lastly, there's going to be transition when the gradient moves. So before we had the transitions later, let's just still continue. So we move to the next thing to be styled. So now we've styled this O1, this background. So we give it a position relative. Now we're having this gradient, and we'll be giving it a position absolute. So what the function of that position is relative is doing for this shoe background is that this one that will be carrying the position absolute will move in respect to this. So that is why we can see that anytime we change, the background color moves in transition. We'll see that as we continue. So we have the next thing we have here is the gradients. Gradients. Yeah. So we give it a position first absolute. Then we give it a width of 100%. So this width is of 100% means it will be taking the total width of this shoe background, because this gradient is inside the shoe background. This gradient is inside the shoe background. So once we are giving it 100%, it will be taking 100% of what this shoe background. So we continue, we give it an height of 100% also, which is the same thing, 100%. Then we give it a left of 0, and top of 0. So what is left of 0 and top of 0 does is, I said it's going to move in relation to this shoe background. So once we give it 0, it means this left 0, it means go to the end, to the left end of this shoe background. Why top means go to the topmost, start from the top of this shoe background. So we go to the next one, which is the gradients. We've done the gradients. Now the gradients, we have gradients, the one that carries S, and we have ordinary gradient. So let's deal with the one of the gradients. So also they'll be having almost the same characteristics, but the only thing is that it is even the same characteristics. I will have just done, okay, let me just do like this, comma dot gradient. Then I will now add the remaining characteristics I want them to have here. So I won't be repeating myself too much. Then I have the Z index of -2. That is, allow the one on top to show. Just go down 2 steps and allow what you went under to show above you. So that's what the Z index is for. So we continue, but before we continue, let's try to see what we are doing. Voila, we can see we already have the card there, but some things are not here in place. Things like the logo, we can't even go down anymore. Things like, because we've set an height for the card, and for the the shoe background, we set an height for that. So I guess that's why you can't even scroll again. So we have an height for this already. So now we can see we have the left side that will be carrying the shoe. We already have it in place. We have the right part also, but we can see it's not yet styled. We are still working with the shoe background. We are still working with the shoe background. So we will continue from there. We'll continue. There are some codes we might not be able to write now. I don't know if they will take effect onto. Okay. Let's continue. So let's continue. Guys, you can see we did something here by adding a second to this, but there is no first. We already did second. right? So I guess we have to do the first later. We have to do that later on, but let's continue. Let's just do dot first, then have a z index of 0. Then okay, oh sorry, we'll do this later after we've done the JavaScript, so that you'll be able to understand the usefulness of that. So we go next to the logo. Yeah, let's style the logo. Yeah, so we have dot logo, then we have position absolute. Also, you know, everything will be moving in respect to this other one we gave absolute to. Where is it? Everything will be moving in respect to our relative, sorry, our background, shoe background. So it will move straight to the top of the shoe background. Then we give it a width of 100 pixel. So before I give it a left and top, let's see how it looks like. You can see where it's positioned itself here. So it's moving in respect to this shoe background. It can't move to the top because of this 9K, but if I should delete this 9K, it will automatically move to the top. So let's continue. So let's now give it a left of 20 pixel and a top of 20 pixel. Then yeah, after this, let's see how it looks like now. You can see, is it already kind of overlapping the 9K, because you have told it that despite the 9K is there, still move a bit to the top. So let's continue. After styling that we can see the share here. The share should be at the other side here. The Nike should be here, the Nike logo should be here, the share should be here. So that is what I want to do now. I want to shift the share to the other part also. So also this share, we'll be giving it a position absolute also. I guess that's what we give it. Share. Where is that? Logo share, yes, class share. We'll be giving it a position absolute. Giving it a position absolute, a top of 15, and a right. We want it to move to the right, to start counting from the right. 15 pixel from the right. A top of 15 pixel and right GHT of 15 pixel, and also give it a background color. We want it to have a background color of white, and also a width of 50 pixel. So height of 50 pixel. We want to use it to create a circle. Then you shall have a border radius of 50% also. Border radius of 50%. Then after that, we should have text align center. It should be at the center. Then we have font size. We want to increase the size. So anytime you have a font or some icon, you can use the font size to increase the size. So let's have the font size should increase to 1.3 rem. Then text decoration, because it's a link, it will surely want to underline it. So let's set the text decoration to none, because it's an anchor tag. Sorry, you should want to underline it. Then let's set the color to that variable we created, this primary. That's a variable, so let's set it to that primary by saying variable, color variable, then primary. So we've set the variable like that. Then also let's just add a transition, because according to this, there's a transition that we can see. It increases, it grows bigger when we how will I put it, when we hover it, so it grows bigger. You can see. But this, why is happening? This is meant to be at the center, but it's not. Okay, let's just continue for now. So let's give it a transition of 0.5 seconds. Okay, let me try to correct that part of it not being able to position the icon at the center. Let me give it a display. That should correct the display flex. Then justify content center, then align items center. That should correct it. It should move to the center now. Yep, set it, so it has moved to the center. Let's continue. So the next thing for us to do is the over. Like I said, once we over the shape, we want the radius should increase. To increase, dot share pseudo class over, we have transform scale 1.1. so that's that. And also let's give this a line height. This I, let's give it a line height. Let's see dot share I, and give it a line height of 50 pixels. And now let's now style the Nike background, the name. This is what we want to style here now. This Nike that is on the background there, that's what we want to style. I want to remove it from this top and bring it to the center. Yeah. So when we over, you can see now the over is working already. Wow. So let's continue. So after that, let's style the Nike or the Nike. Yeah. So we give it also a position absolute, and give it a top of 85 pixels. Then also give it a left of 15 pixels. Then the next thing is font size. We want the font size to increase. Font size should now become 11 rem because it's very big. And also we want the line height should be 0.9. Yeah, 0.9. Then the color should be white. We will now set an opacity for it. So the color white will not really reflect, but it will be affected by any color that is displayed under it or over it. So let's give it an opacity of 0.1. So let's see what we've done. Is it going to show? It's not really showing, but let's look at it deeply. But it's showing because of the opacity. So that is done already. So we go also dot to let's go back. You know, we have after the 9 we have the next thing, which is we've done all this. Let's now move to this. They all have a class of shoe. So if you call the class of shoe in the CSS, it will affect all of them. So to make our work easy, instead of styling them one by one, dot shoe. So this shoe, we want it to be having a position absolute also, and a width of 140%. That is, the shoe should be bigger than the background, than the shoe background. Yeah, because if you should look at the actual product card, you can see it is bigger, so it is pointing out here. So that is what we also want to, you can see it here. That is also what we want to emulate. So let's continue. After that, we give it an opacity of 0. Then a bottom of 0. We give it a right of 0. Then we give it, want it to, you can see it's straight, want it to tilt a bit, so we can give it a transform. Now we'll be using rotate. We want it to rotate a bit, rotate minus 20 degrees. So let's look at it first before we are still going to add transition, but let's look at it first. We can't see it. Yeah, we can't see it based on the fact that we have given it an opacity of 0. But if I change this opacity to 1 and let's view it now, we can see it. Is it here? We can see it. So that is that. Let's continue. So let me change the opacity back to 0. Then let me just give this a transition, because of by the time we'll be using it in our, by the time we'll be applying JavaScript to it, so we will not forget. So let me just add the transition there. Then remember, we will not be able to see any of the shoe because we have given it opacity of 0. But we want to do something now. Remember, we gave the first one an extra class of shoe. So now we want to call that class by saying dot shoe dot shoe. Let's now change the opacity to 1. So only one of it would be showing now, which is this. Which is this. You can see it is the blue that we put the shoe. It was the black that was showing before, but because the shoe is on the, okay, let me just change where the shoe is. Let me copy, Ctrl X and put it on the orange. You will see that it is the orange shoe that will be shown now. You can see. So that shoe will now be switching. What we use the JavaScript to do is what? To switch that shoe between what? All of them anytime we select the color. I hope you are getting to understand better. So let me return it back there to. So let's continue. The next thing I want to do is the info, which is the other parts where carries the info. So okay, that's what we want to do now. Let's continue. Dot info. Then we have Let's give the info a width of 50% also, and a background color of white. Let's give it a Z index of 1. We've given that one, I think, minus. So we want it to be as if the info page is on the shoe background. So let's just have a Z index of 1. Then we have a padding of 35 pixel and 40 pixel. Then we have a box shadow similar to the previous one. A box shadow similar to the previous one. Let me see the previous one that we did there. Maybe I'm just going to copy and paste. I think, yeah, it should be the same thing. Let's just copy and paste it. But I'm going to edit something. I'm going to edit something out of it. And what I'm going to edit is I'm just going to remove this minus, because we do not want it to have a border at a particular place, which is the left, the left part. We don't want it to have it, so we remove it here. So guys, we should be having this now. It's getting to form, right? It's getting to form. It's getting to form. It's getting to form. It's getting to form. Yeah. So let's us continue. So this is where we are going to. We are almost there. Let's continue. So let's continue. So after the info, we have the shoe name. Yeah, we have the shoe name. If I'm not mistaken, let me check it. The shoe name, where are you? Info, yeah, shoe name. So I've called the shoe name. We have padding of 0, 10 pixels, 0. That's the shoe name. So now we now have shoe name dot the div dot shoe name. Then we have a div container. Yeah, inside that shoe name, remember the shoe name, we have this div carrying these two. So I guess we'll give it a display flex. Then we will do justify, align items. We'll do the align items should be center. Then we go to the next thing, which is the big. Yes, this big, the H1. So we'll be having dot shoe name div dot big, which is the H1 there. Then we'll give it a margin right of 10 pixels. After that, we give it a font size of 2 rem. After that, we give it a color of gray, which is 333, yeah, gray. Then we give it a line height of 1. Okay, so let's look at that. Wow, you can see that's that. Let's continue. We continue to the next thing by going to the new. Remember the new. Let me just copy this, Ctrl V, then dot new. So the new is like a badge showing that it's a new product. So let me give it a background. Why we are even using this variable is for us to be able to change the color. So let me give it a background color using that variable again. It's for us to be able to change the color in JavaScript, variable primary. So we have that. We have text transform. Text transform should be uppercase. so it's turned to capital letter. It was written in small letter. We have color, and that color should become white. Yeah, color should become white. Since they have a background color, the color should become white. Then a padding of 3 pixels top and bottom, 10 pixels left and right. Then we have a border radius of 5 pixels, so it will be a little bit curved at the edges. Then the transition of 0.5. Wow, that is, the transition is for when the color is changing. Yeah, when the color is changing. So wow, we have the badge already. So this is set. Wow, this thing is getting beautiful already. So let's continue. So after that, let's do the shoe name and what else? Yeah, the shoe name and small. That is this here. Yes, we are doing that now. It's meant to be something like this. We have to decrease the font weight, I guess so. So let's do that now. We have dot shoe name dot small. Then it has a font weight of 500. Yeah, we have to decrease the font weight. I've said that before. We have a color of #444. We have a margin top of 3 pixels. We have a text transform of capitalize, that is capitalize the first words. So okay, let's have a look. We can see capitalize the first words alone. Yeah, we can see men's running shoe. Wow, we can see. So we go to the next thing, which is the description. But before we do that, let's say something. Before we do that, we can see that if this div carrying all this is having a border, yeah, a border. Same here, there is a border, and here also. So we'll be calling those div and we'll be giving them a border bottom. Yeah, border bottom. So we'll be having shoe name, comma, we have the next one dot description, comma, we have the next one dot color container, we have comma, then color, color, then we have the dot size container. So these are all the container we want to have a border bottom, of 1 pixel solid dash DA, which is a light gray color. Wow, it's getting better by the day, better by the time, better by the day, better by the time. Okay, let's continue. So let's deal with the description now. So let's say dot description. Just as you have done before, we'll be giving this description a padding of 10 pixels up and down, then 0% pixels right and left. We are using 10 pixels because we want it to rhyme. You can see we use ways. Did we do that for? Yeah, we did the same thing for shoe name, but we gave it only to the padding bottom for shoe name. We only gave 10 to the padding bottom of shoe name. So we want the space between each of them to be equal. That is why we are using the 10 pixels. So we go to the next part, which is the title. Then for the title, we have color, and the color is #3A. Then we have a font weight of 600 and a font size of 1.2 rem. Then we have a text transform of upper case. So that is that for the title. Then we'll do the text next. The text, we have dot text. I think the title, some other elements also used that class, so it's going to affect them also. Color, we have color for the text. Then the next thing is font size. The font size should be 17 pixels. So that's that. Font size 17 pixels. So let's have a look at what we've just done. Wow, we can see. So this is done already. The next thing we want to do now, we want to work on is the color container. We want to work on the color container. Let's continue. So for the color container, we have the color. We'll soon be through with all this. For the color container, we are having a padding also. Padding 10 pixel top and bottom, 0 right and left. Then we have dot colors. What have I done? We also have dot colors, and that will be having a padding of 8 pixel up and down, 0 pixel right and left. Then we gave the colors a display of flex. Then align items center. Then each color, now let's give each color their characteristics. Remember, all the color have the same class. Where is it? They all have the same class. The blue, the red, the green, the orange, and the black, they all have the same class. So once we call color, it definitely affects all of them. So we have the width of 25 pixel, height, so that to be square, height, and we can create a circle with it. 25 pixel, border radius 50%, border radius 50%. Then the next thing is the margin. So we have space by the side, 0 top and bottom, 10 pixel right and left. Then we have the next thing, we have the border. The border should be 5 pixel solid. Then we should have the next, which is the cursor. Cursor should be pointer. Then let's give it a transition of 0.5 seconds. So that is that. Now we want to go to the each color. Yes, you know we gave it an attribute of color, so we want to be using that attribute here. Now we'll say dot color, and we'll put it in a bracket that when the color attribute that we imputed equals to let's have this equals to red. Then we should have this, we should have a background color of red, which is hash f, wait, hash f, this is red now, f8. We are not even meant to start from red. I jumped, we are meant to start from blue. See, let me just copy that. We are meant to have this color hash, we are meant to have this color and a border color of this also. So that is when the color is red. We're meant to do for blue. Let me just copy and see if copy and paste can be a bit effective. When this one is blue, then let me come and copy the code for blue. I think this blue, Ctrl C. When color is blue, then this should be Ctrl V, Ctrl V. Let's see if it's already effective. In we can see it's effective already. So it's effective already. When the color is there, it changes. So let me just do for the remaining three so that the change will be complete. So let me just copy, paste 3 times, 1, 2, 3, and say when the next color is after green is after red is green. Green, let me just copy the X code for green here. Ctrl C. Now we have Ctrl V, Ctrl V. Then we'll do the next one when the color background and when the color is orange. Then let's come and copy that of orange here. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl V. And the last one is when it is what? Black. Yeah, let's come. So this is the color we used for A. Ctrl Z, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl V. So that's that for the color. By the time we come here, voila, so the color has been fixed. The color has been fixed. So we did something there also. You can remember in our index we selected an active one. Yeah, you can see active. So let's just do something similar to that. Dot color dot active. When is dot color dot active, we have a border color that changes to white to show that it is active. Then we have a box shadow. Let's give it a box shadow of 0 0 10 pixel space 0.5 pixel space RGBA open bracket 0 0 but let's change this one to 0.2. So yeah, then we have transform transform scale 1.1, so it will go a bit bigger also when it changes, you can see. So this shows that it is selected. So if I should change the active to others, it will also move to the others. Let me say Ctrl X, Ctrl Z, Ctrl X, Control V. So you see that it will move to the red. We can see. So that's to show that the active is working. So we've done the active. The next thing we want to do is actually the size container. The size container. Then yeah, the size container. Wow, we've gone far. Let's do the size container. So put dot size container. Then we have a padding of 10 pixels up and down, then 0 left and right. We have margin bottom right of 10 pixels. Okay, so outside that we now have dot sizes, right. Then we have dot sizes, we have padding 8 pixels top and bottom, then 0 left and right. Then we have display, and the display is flexed. Then we give it an align items of center. Then also we continue by saying dot size, that's plural size. Now you're doing the singular size for each size. We now begin to give them width. Let's start from the width of 40 pixels. Wow, width of 40 pixels. Then we have the height of also 40 pixels. Then border radius of 6. The border radius of 6 pixels, and background color of hash EE, background color of that. Then also we have a margin of 10 up and down, 0 up and down, 10 pixel right and left. Then we have the text align should be center. Yeah, then line height, line height should be 40 pixels. Then also we should have font size should be 1.1 rem. Then we should have font weight should be 500. Then we should have cursor pointer. Then we should have transition should be 0.3 seconds. Wow, that size is kind of stressful. So voila, so all the things we have been doing in that size, this is the outcome. So let us now do for the active. When the size is active, how should it look like? So let's do size.active. We are doing size.active now. Okay, soon be rounding up. Size dot active. So when it's active, what should it look like? Background color, let us give it the background color of variable of primary, which we can always will still subject to change in our JavaScript. And the color should be. Then the next thing is the transition, 0.5 seconds. So now quickly before we do for the price, for the price. Let's just look at it. We can see now it's selected already. So let's now do for the price. Stop wasting much of our time. Price dot price. Okay, buy price first. Guess is it? Yeah, buy price. We have the buy price first. BUY hyphen price. So for the buy price, we have a padding top is 15 pixels. Yeah, we have the display, which will fall in flex. We have the align. We have the align items center. We have the justify content space between, and okay, that's that. So let's look at it. Let's give it a look. Wow, it's getting to shape. Then we have the price dot price. For the price, we have color, which is #333. Then we have display flex. Then we have align items center. No, is it center? No. Let me see. Price. No, flex start. It should come to this side. Flex start. It should come to a particular the beginning here. Yeah. Align item flex start. So that's that. We move to the next one, which is the dot price. And what's the next one? The H1. We've not done this. We're already doing this. Wow, sorry. Let me just do the H1, then we'll go back to that. H1. Yeah, the H1. Then we have font size 2.1 rem. Font weight. The font weight is 600, and the line height is 1. So that's that. Then we have the price. Sorry. Dot price I, which is the price I is the icon. That's the icon tab. Let's give it a font size of 1.4 rem. Then a margin right of 1 pixel. Let's see how it looks. Yeah. So flex start. That's why it's because of the align. It's because of this flex start. Align items for flex start. That is why we are having this shifted up. So it's starting from the beginning, up and from the top. Sorry. So now the remaining for us to style is this add to cart. So let's do that right away, which is buy.buy. Then we have a padding. Of 0.7 rem. Then 1 rem. That's 0.7 top and bottom, 1 rem left and right. We have background color, which is based on var primary. Then we have the text decoration, which is none, and we have color, which is set to #FFF, which is white. We have text transform, which is uppercase. We have letter spacing. Let's give it a bit spacing, which is 1 pixel. What else? We have font weight, and the font weight should be 500. We have font size, and the font size should be 1.1 rem. Then we have transition, should be 0.5 seconds, because we are going to be doing a hover on that buy button. We are going to be doing it over. I do not like the way it is square, but I guess that's how it is. Wow, we've gotten somewhere. There is something missing, which is the background color. I'm coming. So that's that. So the next thing I want us to do after this buy, we are rounding up for the CSS also. No, not really rounding up, but let's just give it this by an over first. Over, we have transform and scale. When you transform, you should get, when you over it, you should get bigger. Yes. Then let us give by the icon in by, which is the cat icon. Margin right should be 2 pixels. Wow. So let's see what we got. We can see, yeah, all these ones are yet to work. They are yet to work. So to some extent you have been able to achieve some things, but I quickly want to add, I missed the background here, which I quickly want to work on. Yes, the background, let me put it around this gradient side. Where's that gradient? Gradients should be up. I missed something there. I was meant to give the gradient, yeah, yeah. So let me say okay, let me say those gradients. Then when the color, we gave it color also, like what we did for the select colors. The same thing we are doing here. When the color is blue, then it should have a background image of, we add this, a background image of linear gradient 45 degrees, comma 45 degrees, comma, then hash 013 AF for blue, comma, then hash, did I put this thing very, hash 22 AF ABFA hash 0136. Yes, so this is for the gradient for the blue, this is the gradient for the blue. So I have to do the same for all other colors. 1 2 3 4, yeah, we have 4 more. So when it is red, we have hash tag D62926. Then we have here hashtag EE625F. So that's that. We go to the next one. When it is what? When it is green, Then we have 11998E. Then the second one should be 1CE669. So you can get color inspiration from color hunts. You will see where you can be able to use different colors there. 4A1A. And the other one is F7B733. That's for when the color is orange. And lastly, when the color is black, we have #111 and the other one is 666. So, and lastly, we are going to add, we use .second. Yeah, we use .second, which will be adding to this also. .second, and that would be Z index of -1. So second is Z index -1. Let's preview our page. So this is it. We can see that the background color is yet to change for this other side. Yes, the background color is yet to change for where the image is. So let's go back to our VS Code. Okay, let me try figure out what is happening. Let me go back to the index. We've done all the necessary thing. Oh, there is a mistake here. This is meant to be class gradient second. This is meant to be class blue. No, this is meant to be color blue. It's meant to be color. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is meant to be color, not class. For the gradient, it's meant to be color, not class. So let me just edit that. I guess after that, the background color for that should change. The background color should change. So that's that color. Yes, because we've already set it that when the gradient color is so I guess that should change now. But the second is on the index -1. Okay, let's check. So we have this. Yeah, it's now showing now, but we can't change it yet. We can't select color yet. So let me try something else. Sorry. Let me go back to the HTML. So okay, you have shoe here, so it's going to show this. If I remove the shoe, Ctrl+X, and let me put it in the orange V, and let me see what will happen. You can see the shoe actually changed to orange. Okay, that's that. Let me remove this second. Okay, the second to orange. Let me change also this active control to orange. Where is that orange? So let's now see the color now. Where is it? Wow, so it's changed. So these are how we can change it naturally without use of the JavaScript code. So in the next video we're doing on this, we are going to be adding the JavaScript file to it. We are going to be adding the functionalities to it, where you can click on color and it will change Yeah, we're going to be adding all this to it. Then you can click on this and this and this. So we'll be adding this to this to it in our next video. And also we will be doing a we are going to be doing the media query for different screen sizes also, just like this, so as to make it responsive. You can see this is responsive. When you increase it, you can see it gets here. You can see. So we also be doing that in the video, in the next video. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Bye.